Hello, I'm Pika, and I'm back today with another discussion video. It's been a little while. I'm probably going to make this one pretty short, but there's something I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit. It's about the benefits of streaming your gameplay, or recording, but talking mostly about streaming here, but both apply, especially for competitive players, but just in general. A lot of people know the benefits of streaming your gameplay is be like, you get to have some friends in your chat, maybe meet some new people, have a bit of a fun time, and maybe make a few dollars here and there if you're lucky. But there's a bit more to it that some people don't really acknowledge, and I want to talk about that. Again, like I said, the whole building a community thing is the most popular, and like that's definitely an upside. There's no getting around that. But as a competitive player, there's some added perks to recording your gameplay and streaming it that you might not originally think of. For example, one big thing to me is that having the constant pressure, if you want to call it that, of having your gameplay, like especially if you're streaming, having everything about it always available to people to watch and observe. At first, it's really like unnerving. You can be really stress-inducing, even and make you play feel like you're playing worse or be a lot more conscious of your gameplay than usual. And for a lot of people, the immediate effects of that is that they feel like they don't play well. And although that's true, like firsthand experience, I definitely did not play well for the first while I started streaming. It actually gets a bit better over time. Because as you do it more, you get more accustomed to the pressure of streaming, so other high pressure situations when you're competing don't feel nearly as unusual or stress inducing. For example, playing in a tournament, especially if you're on broadcast, especially at a LAN, but even just if you're on the spotlight, like on the mainstream of a tournament, like a tournament broadcast. If you're always streaming your gameplay, having a TO jump into your match chat and say to wait up, you're getting streamed, it doesn't really feel like much anymore. I remember when I was first starting the game, having those moments was just like a moment of panic. It's like, oh my god, like people are gonna have to see my gameplay. And if you start feeling really like self-conscious and like wanting to play well, but then you're stressed and you're overthinking things, you probably play worse. But if you're always streaming, those moments it's like, okay, I'm on stream. I was already on stream. I always am on stream. It doesn't feel that different. It doesn't really make you overthink anything or get self-conscious in those ways that it might for someone who doesn't stream or has not had a lot of tournament experience in that way. So it's a way to give yourself an edge like that. Another bonus when it comes to competing is another buff to mentality, but instead of being about others observing you, it's more so or about observing your gameplay, it's about observing your character. Like as in yourself, not as in like your playable character, as in you as a person. I find that when I'm streaming the game, I find it harder to get, like I'm less likely to get as tilted and frustrated. Obviously there's still moments where like it kind of gets a bit much and you can't really help it, but you're more inclined to want to look your best and put on a good show in some form. So things that might originally might have some comment to say, whether it be about the game or even, about a person that you just won't say because you're on stream. Honestly, it can start to remove those habits and just overall build a better mentality, which in the long run can be very beneficial for competing and just in general. Like it's nice to have those checks on your behavior and to build those habits, like even when you're not in stream and not competing, those can honestly be really helpful in life. But I'm mostly talking about competing here, so I won't go too into that. But yeah, those two things combined build a lot of consistency in your mentality when competing and just playing in general, even if it's a scrim or even solo queue. I personally don't have much experience streaming solo queue, just not really my thing. But I don't see why it wouldn't apply there either. I'm just, from my own experience, thinking mostly into a tournament context. But yeah, not only can streaming your gameplay help you out physically in terms of interacting with friends, or again, getting a couple subs might, make you a little happy to get a little payout every once in a while. But it also might boost your tournament performance and even scrim performance overall in general, and it's only going to get better long term as those conditions become more standard to you, so they feel less uncomfortable when you're competing and streaming, etc., etc. And the third thing I want to talk about, again, it's another more well-known thing, but the community as a whole could really just use more content. Because honestly, there's no such thing as too much. When you're promoting your own gameplay, you're building your own brand, you're also promoting the game and its competitive scene, giving it more views, So that not only helps to grow tournaments, give them exposure to get more entries, it also helps to spread news of the competitive scene and get more people into it. It could even, like if it snowballs hard enough with a lot of people doing it, even attract things like sponsors. I obviously won't guarantee that, but you can't have those kind of things without some kind of viewer base to your game. And what better way to get viewers and to spread the content of the game and help people learn more about its players? Yeah, for people to do that, putting out content is just about the best way to do it. It'll help you, it'll help other players, it'll help the scene as a whole, and yeah, especially with Splatoon 3 on the horizon, and even of LAN, we got Riptide coming up. There's a lot of hype around the game, and it's a good time to start networking, like, and putting out content. Like, it's always a good time, but now especially. But yeah, if you want to become a better competitor, at least from my experience, like all these things about tournament performance, I'm saying firsthand from how I feel about it, seeing as I have on and off had sprees of streaming a lot of tournament and scrim things for a long time now, but recently I've stuck a lot more to it. Yeah, like from the early days, it was really uncomfortable, don't get me wrong. It was also really stressful when sometimes something wrong would go with technology, and you get frustrated with your capture card or your internet or whatnot. But over time, hopefully if you sort those out, especially the whole technology issues, then the mental influence and the confidence boost that you get from just being in that environment, it can help your play as a whole. And then again, like I said, there's the other personal benefits that people know about, like growing the community and growing your own brand and community. Yeah, stream, put out content. Even if you don't want to stream, YouTube videos still do this. It's not like I asked to be streaming. I'm just speaking from a mostly stream perspective, because videos, although like I'm making one right now, I would be lying if I said it was my main focus. But yeah, if you stream and or record your gameplay more, or if you start doing it if you've never done it, it can help you play, it can help improve your play in tournaments and scrims if you're into competitive. Otherwise, there's the more well-known benefits that are going to do with building your own community or helping to spread word of the community of Splatoon at large, all sorts of things. If you haven't tried streaming or recording and you want to, I recommend trying it. It doesn't have to be that high effort. I mean, look at me. Most of my discussion videos are just me in the training room flailing around and spitting words at my screen. I mean, like, sure, I'd be lying if I didn't acknowledge that editing videos or putting a lot more time into it didn't help their performance or their quality. It definitely does, but that doesn't mean, like, you don't have to do those things to make content. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say today. I want people to make more content for a variety of reasons, but if you've wanted to be sold on it or seen it in a new light than people have normally talked about, then there's something to consider. Yep, that's about all I have to say, so have a good one, and if you want to try to get and do content, good luck, and if you have any questions, I'm sure I could try to answer. If you're looking into something more content, like editing heavy in terms of videos, I'm sure there's other creators who would gladly help answer questions or help get you set up. Honestly, it's always pretty easy to approach people. I know it can seem scary to ask questions to whoever, but I promise they'll be more approachable and helpful than you might expect. So yeah, good luck, and have a good one.